The Hunter's Advantage podcast is brought to you by Numa Outdoors. Growing up, I remember waddling around the woods looking like the Michelin Man and still freezing my butt off. But thanks to Numa Outdoors, those days are over. It's not just about staying warm. When I go out hunting, I need to know that I have gear for every single thing the woods might throw at me, whether it's heat or rain or cold. Numa Outdoors offers quality gear for every pursuit. If you're looking for quality garments backed by a lifetime warranty, make sure to go to numaoutdoors.com and use code HA20 for 20% off at checkout. Whether we're chasing whitetails here in the South or we're headed out west to get after some bugling bulls, we trust Numa Outdoors and we hope you will too. Well, you guys can probably tell we haven't done some podcasts in a while. We had some nice episodes bankrolled, and we're just trying to keep our heads above water now. So we're doing this live podcast, but we appreciate you guys tuning in, especially on 9 p.m. on a Thursday night. So we know anyone that's here is loyal, and if you're listening to this on the following Monday, hopefully we have a good conversation. But now that you've listened to us rant about our jobs and
it's
our
not even a rant, and
our non-existent work,
it's just complaining. This is the main reason we jumped on, just so we could complain.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into some of these comments. Maybe these people are having a better week. Zach, Jajowski, what's up, man? Zach always makes me so insecure. Jack makes me so insecure every time I see his profile picture. Just freaking.
I know it. It's a giant. And the sad thing is, he's a Texan, and that's I believe an Oklahoma deer. So it's like, nice. You did something I can't even do as a resident.
I know it. Sully for real said, "What's going on, fellas? Hope you boys are having a great week." I hope the last 4-minute preamble kind of told you how the week was going. But he said, "Owning a landscaping business is tough. Good help is hard to find." I think Jake can sympathize with you there.
My best workers are high schoolers, so if that tells you anything, and they're great help.
Needing some gas money. 4 inches of rain kicked our butts in Georgia. Yeah, have you been getting? We haven't got crap down here. Like even when I was up in Kansas City a couple weeks ago, we were getting a lot of rain, but down here is like non-existent.
Really? Mm-hmm. I think. Well, it came in Wednesday night, and we got downpour Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and maybe even Sunday. So yeah, we got it, and the grass is like, oh,
it's showing.
It's loving it. It's loving it. But what's the temperature like down in Texas right now?
Well, it's hotter. Super hot. Super hot. I think it was shoot, let's see what it was today. It was pretty hot. I remember getting out in the sun and being like, is it summer already? I think it had to be somewhere in the 80s. It's 77 right now. It was 89 today.
Wow.
So to me, that's really, really hot.
Yes. Anything above 75 is like, no, thank you.
Well, I only went shed hunting like 2 or 3 times this year, but even looking at my yard now, I'm like, no point in going again this year, especially down here. The grass is like
already green and
already. Yeah. It seems like they hold long enough past green up, and then when they drop, it greens up and they're just gone. And that's why I find so many sheds the next year. I can't find a fresh shed to like save my life.
You act like you need an excuse to not find a shed. We just suck at shed hunting. That's really all it boils down to.
I can't find one.
Yeah. Unless they're bleach white and sticking up in plain sight, it's like, good luck.
I can find them on private when they like stick out like a sore thumb, but not in like leaves or anything else. Yeah. Some people, they see like a fingertip sticking out. There it is. Like, that looks like a stick.
Yeah. How can you tell? It's just, man, there's really not that many straight things in nature. So when you see it, and it's like, dude, I still can't like have that concept in my eyes. Like, just can't.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's catch up on some of these Instagram ones. So Poppy Chew said, "I'm here. Sup, bros. What's up?"
Poppy Chew.
Judah, Justin Pomp said, "What's up, y'all? Sorry for hopping on late." No worries, man. We're hopping on late, so yeah, you're all good. He said, "Would you shoot a piebald doe if you had a chance?" That's interesting. Would you shoot a piebald doe?
That's controversial. Would I? Yes.
Have you seen the one that Judah sent or put on his Instagram?
I don't think so. I'll look real quick.
Oh, it's like a.
Did he shoot it, or is it just a video?
No, it's it's alive, and I think he just shot it, on his phone. But one of the things that he said was that he hopes it has babies that are continue to be piebald. I don't know if that's how that works or not. But
Is it on Messenger?
it may have just been on his story, but it was a beautiful piebald. I'll tell you, Judah, the only piebald that we've ever had the chance to hunt was a big, probably 140s inch 9-point. And he had we called him Snow White because he had like piebald legs up to like his shoulders. And that deer was really,
That's kind of a
really
cool
special.
name, Snow White.
Snow White.
I like it. Yeah.
Well, we our buddy Jake Ayers was hunting across the river, and he's like, "Man, I shot a big frame deer today." That's what he told me one morning. I shot a big frame deer. I was like, "What did it look like?" And I sent him a picture. He's like, "That's the one." And I was like, and I was like, "Sweet, we're at least gonna get to see it," because this was like a 140s inch 8 frame, and it just had like a 2-inch G4 on one side. So like it was really a 140s 8, and it was like 20
It
inches
was a
wide.
good deer. I know that.
Big deer. And Jake was like, "No, he was really, really big." And he shot him and didn't end up recovering him. And I'm like, that's the first and only piebald I've seen in 28 years. So, yet to answer your question, absolutely. I don't know about a piebald doe. I really
I
don't
just
know.
think that's a weird concept. Like, even the albino, like you take it a step further, it's like, would you shoot an albino deer? And it's like, yes, absolutely. I don't care if it's a spike, whatever it is. It's like, okay, if what makes a piebald or an albino different from a normal deer, right? Well, the rarity of the characteristic, right? Like it looks different. So
It
if
looks really
it's
cool.
more rare, does that mean you don't want to shoot it? Okay, you know what else is rare? 170-inch deer. Are you going to pass 170-inch deer just because it's rare? I'm not. So it's like, what's kind of the difference if you're just kind of basing it off rarity?
My thing is my thinking immediately goes to it's gonna die anyways,
Mm-hmm.
like naturally. And so I don't know. I probably wouldn't shoot like a piebald fawn or like a spike or something, but if it was a decent deer
So
or
you
a more mature doe, I would.
so you shoot a regular fawn, but not a piebald fawn. I get it.
That's different. That's different. They have a name for that. That's called Tinder. Man, dude,
Got
that's
it.
dark. That's dark.
Got it. Uh,
No, that's double dipping. That's double bad mojo. You shoot a fawn and it's piebald.
that is funny.
I'm gonna knock a couple more out on Instagram.
Yeah.
Judah said, "What's y'all's plan for turkey hunting this year? What's your plan, Jake? Spring's your kind of your light season at work.
So yeah, right. I've probably seen more turkey this year, excuse me, than I have my whole life combined. Like
Really?
yeah, dude. So I about hit one in Grove the other day when I like middle of town, a little Jake, probably like 3-inch beard, just come uh moving across the road. And then I was over there by the lake, and there was one that I've never like a lot of deer around there, but I've never seen turkey. There was like a full blown tom just like puffed up and walking across the street. And I'm like, I've worked here for 5 years and I've never seen a turkey, but yet now I have. Proctor has them. I've seen them obviously by Willie Corner. You know where I'm talking about. For the people that's not
Yeah.
around here, you don't know. They're everywhere. But the places I do have permission to hunt, it's like nothing.
I don't have the places that I have permission and have had leased don't have any turkey on them. So
Yeah.
it would be a waste of time for me to get turkey. And people are like, "Oh man, it's Oklahoma, there's turkeys everywhere." They're not where I have permission, not where I can hunt. I don't know of
Yeah.
a single turkey.
And also it's like, okay, well, go to public. And it's like, no. How about no?
Tried that.
Yeah.
Tried
You
that.
think pressure on like during deer season's bad on public? Oklahoma turkey hunters, they're a different type of breed. They're everywhere, dude.
Oh, it's big out of state too. People are trying to do those slams and
Yeah.
stuff now and get their Rio knocked off. And Oklahoma's, I think, one of the closer places in the central part of the country you
Well,
can
I
knock
was
off
about
a
to
Rio.
say it's so centralized. It's like you're getting just a
Getting it from every direction.
yes. Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Brandon Barlow on Instagram said, "Hey fellas, it takes 2 piebalds." He said, "I've seen 7." That's crazy. That's so crazy. I've seen 7. Judah said, "I don't want to shoot it because half the town are primary liberals know about
Dude, that's when you shoot it. That would make me want to shoot it more. If it's like I knew people were going to get butthurt and they were also liberal, it's like I'm blasting that in like the town newspaper. If that's the case.
What was the one over at Grand that they shot Christmas? Was that one?
Yeah, that was a doe. Yep, Christmas. But that's kind of different. Granted, I don't know what kind of where Judah hunts, whether it's more suburban or out in the country, whatever it is. But
Michigan,
that
or
one,
is it Michigan? I think he's in Michigan.
yeah, I think he's from Michigan, but suburban, rural setting, I think there's a difference. If it's in a HOA gated community like this one somewhat was, and it just barely wanders off that and gets poked, that's kind of a different story. But if it's like you see one and you're on public, it's like, yeah, shoot it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't disagree. It's one of those things. I've never had the opportunity, so I don't know. I like to think that my bow
that's
would
a
probably just
cop-out
magically it would magically draw back if I had one walk in front of me. No, I wouldn't shoot a fawn, but if it was a doe or a decent buck, I would absolutely shoot a piebald. And when else are you going to have an opportunity to do that? I would argue that's probably rare. That's probably more rare than like a booner. Wouldn't you think?
Okay, so what if you're on a managed ground, right? Let's say you're on the 110 and you get an albino buck. It's already like a
2-year-old.
Yeah, like let's say a 3-year-old 125-inch 10. We'll just do a 10 point.
Oh, dude.
Would you because there's a difference in 125-inch 8 and 125-inch 10. So what would you do? Would you try to let it grow and possibly get shot by a dude coming in from Florida on the neighbors, or?
Well, I know that you designed that just on the fringe of something that I would want to shoot, which is like if it was 5 inches bigger, it'd be a no-brainer. But I don't know. I feel like you'd have to.
You think so?
What don't you think?
I mean, that's a respectable buck, and for it to also be albino, that adds your 5 inches.
In my book,
book.
170. Yeah, it's 50 inches right there.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I would have. I don't know how you couldn't. Like, I think I'd be so in shock and awe that I'd just be like, I have to. I have to shoot this deer. Like, it's a 3-year-old. Like, who cares, dude? Who cares? What's even more rare, I saw a few. I've seen a few on Instagram that like are 150, 160 class that are like piebald or like albino, and you're just like, dude, that's the best of both worlds.
That's crazy.
That would be awesome. Let's knock some of these out from YouTube. Zach Jassy said, "Have y'all been shooting the bows? I shot tonight, first time since the buck kill. I've been looking at my bow like a neglected child. It's in my garage. Every time I go take out the trash, I see it. But with the baby, job, move, dude, no. I'm packing my bow up and putting it in a U-Haul this weekend. It has not been touched. It probably has dust on it, which is terrible to say, but it's the truth.
It's fine.
I'm not even going to ask Jake. I know if I haven't shot, there's no way he's done his bow.
You know, if I wanted to lie and say, oh, well, I've been thinking about it, but I need to lower my draw weight, which I do. But is that the reason why? No, I just haven't shot.
We're not going to TAC either this year, which I think that's this weekend. It'll probably be more rain. Yeah,
no,
we're not going.
We're not there. It won't.
It won't. Yeah, because we're not there. We're going to Kodiak this year. So Jake's missing his anniversary and his wife's birthday. What a terrible person.
Why are you blasting that? Thank you.
Well, I'm telling them
I didn't have a choice.
I'm telling them why we're not going to TAC. One, I'm moving, and then Jake has to kiss up so hard because he's missing those things. So he's got to take his wife on a beat. What's that? Where are you going? The Boys of Oklahoma?
No. So my wife's taking the boards, or she has been taking the boards for dental hygiene. She has to take like 4 tests. And then after she passes 4, she has to submit it. And then Oklahoma will make you take another one to like do all the rules and regulations of whatever Oklahoma has to offer. So like we had tickets for Friday in Stillwater, but we got rid of them because A, we couldn't find hotel rooms. And then B, she has a board that very next day.
So that stinks.
Yeah. And it's all the way in Joplin. So ain't going to happen.
Oh man. We got to sacrifice for that bread. That's
okay.
You what. So I really just aired out your laundry for no reason then.
Yes. But in my defense, I don't want, which 100% of these listeners are dudes. So they're going to be like, I understand. But if there's any females out there and he's like, he's a dick. Listen, okay, we had a trip planned. I was told this trip was going to be later in that month, but then after we already booked the flights, I had no deal with it. I didn't know the dates, didn't know anything. Everything already got booked. And then I was told, okay, it's this day through this day. And I was like, wait a minute, this
It was like 2 weeks
doesn't
earlier or something.
yeah, I was like, this doesn't work for me, but we tried to change it around, couldn't change it around, and that's just kind of she understands that it was out of my hands, so that's what it's about.
Well, it's gonna have to do.
So basically, the divorce wasn't my fault.
I tried. I gave it my best shot.
Oh shoot!
Zach said I went looking for sheds this last weekend, and with the green up here, it was brutal. Yeah, it's. I think Zach's in like Northeast or East Texas, but I mean down here, once it rains one time in the spring, just stop looking.
What's
'Cause
the
What's the what?
what's the best region in Texas to like hunt?
It's good. It's South Texas, Golden Triangle,
Is
no
it South?
doubt.
Okay,
Oh yeah, yeah. Which I'm still probably 4 or 5 hours from there.
dude, Texas is a big state.
Dude, it's so big. It is so big.
You don't realize it until you just drive. Which me driving to Austin or even to where you live,
Georgetown, yeah.
I'll say it. Okay, Georgetown. It felt like forever. Like you get to
It is.
Dallas from Bonita, and it's like, dude, I feel like I've been driving for 8 days straight, and then all of a sudden you get another 3 hours or however long it is.
Well, the best drive I ever did. You remember we went up to Boise City? Well, I had my truck. I got in a wreck with my truck, and so I had to get a rental car. I drove from Austin to Boise City. I don't know if you can map that out in your head what that looks like. It's in Texas the entire time.
Yeah.
It was 11 hours through Texas. I don't even live real far south in Texas. I live in the middle of Texas. It was 11 hours to the Texas Panhandle. I got to Lubbock at like midnight, and it's like 6 more hours straight, and I'm just like,
There's
It'll
actually
rage you out.
a pretty good story, but I'll tell you that after I ask this. So if Texas, what's that word? Succeeded, seceded, wouldn't it be like the third largest country or something like that?
Oh, yeah, like the economy. Yeah,
Something I don't know.
the economy in Texas is really, really big. Yeah, I mean, it's got like 30
Well,
million people. So yeah,
okay.
yeah, it would.
Huh. I just didn't know from size wise either how
Dude,
that would be.
a quarter of our, as much as I despise the state of Texas, a quarter of our audience is from Texas. So I can't.
That's
hate you.
fine. I
can't
never
hate
said I
God.
hate you. I just said I slightly dislike you. So
Just the
that's
state,
all I was saying. Yeah.
not you as a
Yep.
person. Just the state.
I don't even mind Texas as a state, to be honest. Like my wife watches softball religiously, and I like Texas. Texas is always good.
There we go.
But no, you brought up that trip to Boise City, and I remember because I got to you can call it a motel. I call it
there's a hole in the wall.
dude. Yeah, that's all it was. And just to paint a picture for you guys, ain't much in Boise City, Oklahoma. You got 2
Bush.
motels and a Dairy Queen. That's it.
Oh,
I
there's a
don't.
Love's. There's a Love's travel stop. Come on.
Okay, well, it's not a real town unless it has a Dollar General. I don't think it had a Dollar General, so that's just what it is. It's a little Oklahoma humor for people that might not know. But I get there before Christian. I get there about, I don't know, 1 a.m. because I'm driving from Stillwater because I believe I'm still in college. I took a victory lap, because I'm dumb. But so I get there about 12:30, 1 a.m. I walk into this dim lit motel office and I'm like, hey, we had a reservation. And she was like, what's it under? And I was like, I think it's under Babcock. Could be under Gaylord. Not sure. And she was like, I don't see either one of those names in here. And I was like, are you sure? Because we booked it like a week ago. And by the looks of it, there's 2
no
trucks
one in the parking lot.
Yeah. So like, just give me a room then if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, I don't see the reservation. And of course, by this time we've already booked and paid for it. And it's already came out of the account and stuff. And so I call Christian. I'm sitting there in the lobby and I don't have it on speaker, but it's again 12:30, 1 a.m. Nothing really buzzing, probably except flies and the dim light in the corner. And so you can definitely hear Christian talking. And I'm like, hey, these people are saying that we don't have a reservation, and Christian is, I assume, already a little upset because of the car wreck, getting there super late, the long travel. And he was like, "What? That doesn't make sense." He said, "Has the internet not made it there yet?" Like, talk
Oh my
about.
god.
I forget your exact words, but it was hilarious.
I think it's
And
horse and buggy or
I'm
something like that.
yeah, I'm wanting to die laughing, but I'm in this small little room with this overweight lady that looked like she just got done sucking off a cigarette, and so she obviously hears it. I'm trying not to laugh, and I'm looking her in the eyes, and so it's even funnier. And I'm like, "Are you sure you don't have it?" And she looks over on this piece of paper, and she's like, "Oh yeah, here it is." And I'm like, "Wow, this could have all been avoided if you would have just looked at the paper before I made this phone call." But anyways, here we are. We get
Mhm.
into the room, and it's each wall is 4 different colors. We try to open the bathroom door. It hits there's 2 little beds in here. It hits the bed. You can't even open it. If you're a little bit overweight, you weren't able to use the bathroom without shifting over the whole bed. And, so, yeah, that night, I basically sleep on top of the covers because 'cause I'm like, "These snitches have not been washed, I can
You
guarantee it."
needed a black
So,
light for those covers.
yeah. Long story short, Boise City, great for pronghorn, but as for the accommodation factor, I'd rather sleep in my truck.
Well, they don't do rotational burning out there. They do rotational painting. So every 4 years, they paint one wall a different color. That way,
Yes.
they can keep the paint real fresh in that motel.
Yes.
You would
Carpet,
think
shag.
you think it would be super cheap out there. It's not. It's still like it was still like $55 a night. I'm like, for what? This is
Yeah.
literally like my truck is cleaner.
It was. It was. I really think it was. And granted, it was a great hunt. I had probably the best, like one of the best hunts of my life there, and we didn't even kill anything.
Oh yeah, that was a good time. Sully for real said, "Love the show, guys. Thanks for getting on here and chat with us." Yeah, yeah, man, for sure. We enjoy it. I suck at shed hunting too. If it's not bleach white, I can't find it. Okay, sweet. We should go shed hunting together. So no one will be insecure. We
I
don't
love
find
it.
anything. He also said, I killed a small 8-point piebald in 1997, maybe 100 inches. I was getting the whole deer mounted, but a processor let the hide run. I was pretty mad about it. Yeah, that
I would be too.
that'd
Hey
probably get me
man,
going too.
I'll get you another hide. It's like, bet you won't.
Yeah, that I would be upset if someone even lost my cape. So the fact they lost your piebald, that'd probably send me over the moon. Judas on Instagram said, I'm planning on buying a new bow, the Bear Alaskan. What do y'all think of it as a budget bow?
Let me Google that real quick.
Let me look at the Bear Alaskan. Sounds
Do you
cool.
wanna bring it up on present it so people watching can see?
Sure. I type in Bear Alaskan and it brings up Alaskan brown bear. Let me look. Oh, 1 second. Let me find it first. All right. Let's take a look at this.
Oh, it actually looks pretty sweet.
What about that? That it?
Looks like what I seen.
All right, 559. Yeah, dual cam. It goes up to 70 pounds. Alaskan XT, 80% let off, vibration free. Yeah, it looks nice. 33-inch axle to axle. Yeah, it looks like a pretty sweet bow. I mean, $599 for a bow in today's economy is like that's super good.
That's pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
really good. Now bows are like $1,700-$1,800.
Yeah, I heard Matthews kind of like went up on their prices a bit, didn't they?
They're like $1,400 now, I think.
Yeah, that's stupid. See, I
They used
bought
to be like $899.
yeah, that's what I bought my V3 for. I got it for I think 900 on the dot.
It's because these tariffs, man.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. Okay. Sully for real said, I was proud of that deer. I had a tough football game the night before and I was so sore I could hardly climb my tree and he showed up. One of my favorite hunts ever. Yeah, that's pretty special. That's tough that you lost that one.
Did you at least win the football game?
I hope consolation prize. Zach said, when's the Kodiak trip and how long are y'all out there? So we're going August. What would that be? Is it the 8th, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're flying out the 7th, so we'll be in the field starting on the 9th. I think we'll probably come home on the 15th or the 16th. So I think we're gonna do 5 days in the field. Pretty sweet trip because we're flying in Anchorage to Kodiak, and then we'll do a bush plane out to where we're gonna hunt. Which The bush plane, the more videos I watch about it, that thing sketches me the frick out. I'm already
Really?
claustrophobic. Yes.
Are you claustrophobic?
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
but,
you're like 5'9", so it's like you should have all the space in the world.
well, the main thing for me is like landing on the water. I'm like, what if you catch it wrong and you're just like flipped? Now you're all underwater and you're like trapped in a little vessel. That scares me,
I bet you I could kick a window.
dude. No.
I don't give a damn. I'll get out of that sucker. I will get out of that sucker. You bet.
You literally sound
One
like the guy
thing,
that's like, I'll see
I
red
don't
and I'll just
listen.
start swinging.
Yeah, I'm in a bar fight. I just see red. I don't give a damn if you know martial arts. It's like, no, listen here. There's a difference. That's like one of my number one fears. Besides, I guess, like burning
Is
to
drowning?
death. Dude, yes. Water
Me too.
creeps me out, dude. Like, I know I've been saying dude a lot. I don't know why, but the ocean, fascinating stuff. I'm good with aquariums.
I'm an inland creature myself.
I'm good with aquariums. If I can I don't want to be in the water to look at fish, but if I'm on dry ground, I'll look at fish all day. But like if we go to Orange Beach or Fort Walton or something like that, I will get waist deep, and that's as far as I go. Just because, dude, there's so much crap in the ocean. Like you're like, oh, that's a tuna, and it's like, yeah, it's also twice the size of me.
Well, twice, dude, more like 5 times. Some of those tuna are like 1,000 pounds. Swordfish. You saw the stuff about the pyramids, right? When they shot the LiDAR in it and saw like the intricate tunnels and stuff that are underneath the pyramids. Did you see that? Okay, we didn't know about that, and those are above ground, and they lead to underground. What the frick is in the ocean that we don't know about?
We don't know, because that's the thing. Okay, put this into perspective, right? I was listening to a podcast. It was Steve Ranella. He was on JRE, right? Listen to that today. He was talking about just the Great Lakes, how big the Great Lakes are. There's thousands of ships, because freshwater versus saltwater, if a shipwreck happens in saltwater over hundreds of years, even thousands, whatever, sooner or later, just how volatile, and with the saltwater, like everything's basically disintegrated except like jewelry and like metals and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in freshwater, 1,000-year-old shipwreck boat that's made out of nothing but wood apparently looks like you could just pull it out and buff it and it's a brand new boat, just because it's so, what am I trying to say here? It's so well preserved in that freshwater. Just the Great Lakes, because of all this new sonar, like live scope and all this new technology is coming out that's somewhat budget friendly that the average Joe can buy with, a little expense. They're finding more and more boats. And he was talking about this one boat that's like back when the beaver trappers were like some of the richest men in the world, because they used like the underbelly of beaver to make felt hats and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the name of the boat, but apparently it's like one of those lost marvels, and people are searching for that just in the Great Lakes, and they're finding thousands or hundreds at least of old new shipwrecks. And it's like, so if we don't even really know what's in our Great Lakes, how the heck are we going to know what's in the ocean?
You don't.
Yes.
That's the part that scares me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be near them. I really don't.
Even the things we know about terrify me, like anglerfish, great whites. I mean, dolphins. I know they're harmless, but they terrify the hell out of me. It's like, why? He's probably smarter than me. That's why. Yeah. And it's like, all right, I'm going in.
So Denton Curry, which he's the fourth guy that's going with us, Kodiak with Landon, said gonna be plenty of Alaskan brown bear on Kodiak. Yeah, that's gonna be sweet to observe from afar.
One. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I hope we see one. I just hope it's there. The Hunter's Advantage podcast is brought to you by Out on a Limb Manufacturing. We've been using Out on a Limb for many years now, and this upcoming season will be no different. When it comes to good saddle hunting gear, I think of weight, packability, durability, and efficiency. And simply put, Out on a Limb checks all of those boxes. Before we got into saddle hunting, I'd be going back and forth, taking either a climber or hang on. And an issue I found was as I'd be walking through the woods, it seemed like it would always get hung up on something, whether that be low-hanging limbs or a patch of saplings. And not only does that get annoying, it's not very stealthy either. And when you find a good spot to set up, you're still pretty limited to which trees you can sit in. But these saddle hunting systems change all of that. With their selection of saddle platforms and one sticks, Out on a Limb can hook you up with the right setup to help you deflate that big old target buck. To order yourself a high quality saddle system that's made right here in the USA, just go to outonalimbmfg.com and use code HNTA15 for 15% off anything on their website. Again, the code is HNTA15 for 15% off. We trust Out on a Limb's products to run and gun anywhere in the country, and we hope you will too.
Yeah. Zach said, have y'all been studying the maps like crazy? Well, thankfully, Zach, we have a good buddy named Landon. He was on the podcast, I think, back in January, and he went last year to Kodiak. And so we don't have to. We're going back to the spot where they killed several Sika blacktail. So we're kind of taking the easy way out on that front. Still DIY, but with somebody that's been before, which is nice.
It's basically the equivalent of a semi-guided hunt. Hey, we're going to drop you off in this area, and then you go try to kill them, but you're basically in a hot spot, allegedly. Watch us go there and like not even see one.
They were here last time. Yeah.
There'll only be 2 people going back, or maybe I should say 3 people going back on the bush plane. Landon will stay there.
That's funny. Okay. One of the things I did want to show you while we were on here. So I talked about this earlier, this deer and deer hunting thing, that this buck that was Wisconsin deer. Let me show you this right quick. There's like a 1-minute little video that's pretty neat. I want to see what you think about this.
What's it about?
It's about a buck. All right. Can you hear this audio? Oh, no. Hold on. I don't know if it's going to play the audio. Can you see it at least?
I can see it.
Can you hear it now?
Nope.
312-inch buck. So they basically, there was this 300-inch Wisconsin buck that showed up at like this, I think it was some sort of deer expo, and it's been all over the internet. Terrible taxidermy. And then they found this picture of it.
Oh, convenient.
And apparently they said it was like a new state record for muzzleloader, and here it is with a picture of an ear tag, and here it is at the expo. Is that the same deer, you think?
100%. If you look at so it would be its left brow tine. You see that little crook on the end? If you go back and replay it, it has that same little crook.
Oh, it matches up perfectly.
Yeah.
Just the characteristics of the horn, like the snow white and how they sit, all the abnormals, that just that is so textbook high fence deer. But they had a sticker on it that said like pending state record for Wisconsin for a muzzleloader, which is kind of crazy.
That pisses me off.
No,
it's like
it's a participation trophy.
But I think that dude should get hit with like so many fines. That's like, maybe this is a little far-fetched. That's like a chick saying, oh, he RAP'd me, and then when he really didn't. You know what I mean? It's like
stolen valor almost.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so you want to take the easy way out and shoot he's probably tied up when he shot him.
Oh, the deer apparently died 2 years ago.
How does that? What?
I think they just took a dead head and mounted it, and then they were like, "Yeah, I shot this with my muzzleloader. It's potential state record."
I'd take that hunting license.
I want to go over to Rusty Cornwell's and just get me about a 400-incher. Just be like, state record.
Wait 5 years and be like, I actually shot this year.
Yeah. Well, it was like the worst taxidermy in the world too, which is hilarious. Dude, at least make it look nice. That thing looks sped. It's terrible. But yeah, they had it hanging at the show.
I want to see a picture of this dude who shot it.
It's kind of hard to find it on Google Images now.
Wisconsin. I want to say alleged.
Just put state record. I'm sure it'll come up. There is one with his like mug shot. Wisconsin state record muzzleloader buck. It should come up in Google. Oh yeah, deer hunting outdoor news.
You got a picture of it?
not of the guy, but so the Wisconsin DNR is investigating 300-inch non-typical offered a state record. It's 49 points. It emerged March 29th at the Open Season Sportsman's Expo and was entered into the Wisconsin Buck and Bear Club as a potential new state record. According to a source close to the situation, the hunter signed affidavits that the buck was a free range whitetail, that he shot it with his muzzleloader in December 2024. The buck was shot in or near a swamp close to the town of Harrisville, which is about 4.7 miles east of Westfield in Marquette County. So, yeah. Okay. And he had somebody mount it with, looks like 2 chopsticks, like somebody's never mounted a deer before.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right here, and I see his name, Brock Horner.
Brock Horner?
Brock Horner.
Okay.
I don't even know if I should.
I mean, it's a freaking awesome deer, but
no, it's an awesome deer. But if it's a high fence deer and he's trying to run it through a fair game and like, oh look, this is a new record, that should piss everybody off. In all honesty, because no, I think you said it right. Stolen valor. I mean, that's literally what it is. There's people out there that pay good money for, to try to grow deer, buy the right properties, give them the right nutrients, pass, like spend thousands of dollars just to deer hunt. And let's say, you're that public land guy who you're out there and you're trying to chase the American outdoorsman dream where you're like hunting public land and you're trying to kill that once in a lifetime buck. And all of a sudden this dude comes in here. Ooh, I shot the state record. And it's a pin raised deer. That dude can go F himself.
That died 2 years ago.
That dude can go F himself. I bet you he gets pegged. This is late night, okay? There ain't no kids listen to this. That dude probably gets pegged at night.
That's terrible.
Well, it's just the truth.
His boyfriend is upset about this.
That's what I'm saying. His wife's boyfriend must be pissed.
Bucko450 on Instagram said, I wonder if Brock is the next CJ. Yeah, but not defending CJ here. Not defending CJ here. At least that was free range. Come on now.
That is true.
I mean,
technically CJ's the man. I mean,
he's making CJ look better and better.
He is. Good job, Brock. Oh God.
Dude, that is so funny.
You live in Wisconsin, dude. You look at any
Boone
and Crockett entry, like they're leading the nation, I believe. I don't know if anymore, but like that's hilarious, dude. Like you're in one of the best whitetail hunting states and you're still trying to pass over. Leave that to us Oklahomans or us Texans or something. Hell, if it came from Texas, understandable. There's a high fence in every single one. If anything, I'd be like, Brock was probably a hardworking blue collar guy. He got sick and tired of seeing all these rich guys shoot pin raised deer. He just snuck in there one day, got himself one. To him, that's free range. Tip my hat to you, Brock. But you're not. You're in Wisconsin doing that.
Dude, I just want to know the thought process when you're sitting at home. He's like, I'm going to do it. I want to know the moment when he was like, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to enter it. I bet he felt like the man walking in that expo, like,
Oh, I guarantee he put like an eggplant in his pants right there just to make himself look like the full package. Carrying a big old rack, and it's like, yeah, but look at this.
Oh, I bet he felt like the man for about 35 minutes. But there was already so many people. I saw Working Class put something up about it. They were like, pin raised ? Like there was a bunch of people saying that. I'm like, I would say so, dude. Yeah, that looks ridiculous.
I read like one halfway article, and I don't even know the source or anything, but it was saying how that thing's almost, just by looking at it, they went through like the whiteness of the horns, how unblemished they were, and there's a couple other factors, and it's like that is not a free range deer by no means. That's a strict dieted set of antlers right there.
Do you want to see something even better?
Let's see it.
So I have to add this comment up. So Veteran Outdoorsman, thanks for jumping on. He always jumps on the lives. It's like no matter what time it is. So thank you for jumping on. He said that there's a picture of him with the deer supposedly dead the day he killed it, but it's obviously the mount. And I found it.
Did you really?
Hold on. Stay right here. Stay right here. This gets it, dude. The plot thickens. Check this out.
What?
Dude,
Hold on, I gotta blow this up. Give me a second.
that is obviously he's sitting by a mount. Like, you don't even where's the rest of the deer, dude? Like, he's sitting on the mount with the mount in front of him.
Hold on. Keep that picture right there. I'm gonna Google it. Okay, I guess. Okay.
That's with him sitting on the mount.
Dude, that's the mount. Look at the ears.
100%. Dude, the ears are
Look at
pinned.
the ears.
They're pinned back like as a dried form because it is. First of all, he took that on an Android, dude. Look at it. That's so he could have some deniability.
Why? Okay, if this was this year, why would you even have a picture of a deer of that caliber that blurry? That was, I mean,
It's on
if
purpose.
exactly, but and that's what I'm trying to say. But let's say you took a picture of me if I shot a deer like that and it was
A
actually
300?
legit, and I seen that picture, I would slap you in the face and say, take another one. Like,
Dude,
this ain't good enough.
I'd have every photographer within 3 counties over there. I'd be like, take pictures every angle, boys, every angle.
Yeah, that's ignorant.
This guy's sitting on his mouth. He's like, hey, take my Samsung Galaxy S2. Shake it a little bit when you're taking the photo so it doesn't look like I'm sitting on my mount.
Tell me that's the only picture he has of this thing.
Dude, the ears are pinned back. That is 100% just like it's like it's a form. That's
Mouth
what it
not
is.
open, nothing like that.
Dude, that is awesome. That is awesome.
Why is it just the year of the
poachers.
re-rees? Yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
Dude, I don't know. This is a funny comment though. CJ couldn't get his hands on a farm deer anyway. Broke a N-word. Already.
Listen, we're all broke. Okay.
He couldn't get his hands on a farm deer. That one that he shot looked like a freaking. It's almost as bad as that one. How unbelievable the one CJ shot was, but it didn't have 49 points. Veteran outdoors, the burrs and the bases aren't rubbed at all. Exactly. Yeah, because it's from a freaking pin. I got to hold a set of high fence sheds one time. Somebody brought some over. I don't remember whose they were. But I'll find the picture. Dude, this is like in high school. Somebody brought over a set, and they were every bit of like 250 inches. That was awesome. I'll find them. Zach said, Christian, what's on the list after this? If you're successful, I know you're going for the slam. So I would really like to get an antelope. I've shot a couple with my gun, but I really want to get one with a bow. I've hunted 2 times with a bow and haven't killed one yet. So I would say an antelope would be next on the slam, probably. That's the one that I'm really upset at antelope. I want to kill one so I never have to hunt them again because they piss me off so bad. And they're so hard to kill with a bow.
Also, this year, I think we have a good shot of going where the densities are a little bit higher. Granted, when we went to Boise, we had the density, we had the access, but we did not have the know-how nor the equipment.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this is a good step because, yeah, we're going to Kodiak, but we're also putting in for a unit in Colorado. And granted, I think what season's only like a week, I think.
No, it's a month.
Oh, is it a month?
It's like mid-August to like late September. The week was the one in Kansas, I believe.
Okay, yeah, that might have been what I was thinking of. But
here's these sheds, by the way. I found this on my old Facebook. This is 2013. I said, my sheds I just found, unbelievable.
Dude, you got a nice rack.
Those might be 300. Like, I mean, there's one.
Were those Rusties?
I don't know if they were or not, but there's one eye guard right there that has like 10, 12 points on it. So, I mean, I remember holding them and being like, holy crap. That is one thing. I saw the Whitetail DNA guys did it, and I know that Aaron Olson has done it too, but shed hunting a high fence, I think that'd actually be pretty fun.
That would be fun. I think I think that'd make a good video too.
I think I would enjoy that. That'd be super cool.
It's basically like fishing in a barrel. That'd
pretty
work
much.
for us. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's another one for you. Jake, are you trying for the slam or what are your goals?
Not trying for the slam because for me, I don't think that's really attainable. And plus, I want to hunt what's fun and what's like convenient now. And so if like if I stumbled, which I don't think that's how that works. If I stumbled upon the opportunity where I got close to finishing it, years down the road, it's like, cool. Yeah, I'd like to try, but I think it has to be so premeditated to actually finish it where you have to, if you're not coming from, a family with billions of dollars, I don't think it's really attainable in a way unless you do the point system where you put in early and you put in for 25 years to draw this once in a lifetime tag. I don't think that's for me. I want to go hunt and enjoy the hunt. Either, if Christian's like, "Hey, let's go to Alaska this year." Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go shoot some blacktail. I'm in. Okay, let's go back to Alaska next year. Let's try to go shoot some caribou. All right, cool. I'm in. But it might get to a certain point where it's like, "Hey, let's go to the Arctic Circle and try to shoot a polar bear." And I'm like, might be out of my price range there, buddy. So that's just where I kind of draw the line is like, I don't want to say I'm going to do it because I don't really have the desire to finish it, if that makes sense. It's
Do
a
you not have
weird,
the Do you not have the desire, or is it that you don't want to you don't want to mentally commit to about $1 million worth of tags if you were to do it?
yes, that's the thing. I
That's the part that
wonder,
makes it fun, though. I think is because it's literally is almost unattainable, and I
yeah.
think
And
that's what
like,
makes it fun to think
I
about.
don't think you can trip and fall and be like, well, yeah, I might as well just do it. It ain't like something you can just do on a hunch. If you're not like, this is my life goal, I don't think you're going to finish the slam. I could be wrong, but everything I've listened to and read about it, unless that's just your one purpose in life as an average Joe, I don't think you're going to do it.
I don't think it's something you can wake up and do because if you break it down, let's say you woke up and you're 50 years old and you're like, I want
Mhm.
to do the slam. Let's just say you've already shot a whitetail, so there's 28 left, and you shot 3 a year. 3 a year would be like, wow, you were
That's what I'm
like that's a
saying.
lot to do. But if you shot 3 a year, it would take you a decade, and that would be like, holy crap, you are destroying. Like
Yeah.
you'd be shooting
Yeah.
like a black bear, a brown bear, and a caribou. Next year, a whitetail, a mule deer, an elk. Next year, a pronghorn, a polar bear, a tool elk. Like if you think
Yeah.
about that, you're like, holy crap, that would be.
And also, here's my thing too. Let's say that's your goal. I can obviously tell just from knowing you, Christian, my whole life. It's like you want the slam a lot more than I do. And like, yeah, do I love hunting? Yeah, it's my favorite thing to freaking do. But here's the thing. If I'm not saying I will go with you on every single hunt, but you need a camera guy. I don't necessarily want to pay for that tag. But if you want to film it, technically that's my hunt too. So I am totally good with that. If it's like, "Oh, hey, I drew this once in a lifetime tag," and I'm gonna say, "Yes, we did,"
Yeah.
because I wanna go there and I'll film it. I would enjoy
Yeah.
that just as much because you're still getting the experience, you're still getting that interaction, but you're just not the one releasing the arrow, and I would be okay with that.
I think the unattainable nature of it is what makes it so exciting because it's almost it legitimately because I had a conversation with Gabe about this the other day, and he was like, "Well, what should I start putting in for?" And I was like, "Well, dude, if you want a Rocky Mountain Bighorn in Colorado with 29 points, your odds of drawing it are still 1%." And he's like, "Well, why would I do that?" And I'm like, "You wouldn't. You would work really hard your whole life and pray to God you stumble on $80,000.
Yeah,
That's like, you know what's crazy? You have a higher odds of making $80,000 of discretionary income than you do drawing that tag. And you think about it like that, you're like, really? Yeah,
that's
you
what I'm
really do.
saying.
You really do. Your
And, like,
your odds of saving to get it is higher than
do
drawing
I
it.
want do I wanna do all that? Like, and there's a lot of tags too that we've come to realize is like, oh, no, it's just to put in for all these tags, that's just $1,500 right here that you're just never gonna get back, and it's like you have to do that consecutively for years and years, and it's like, yeah, sooner or later, that won't be a problem, but it's like, is that really what I wanna do? And, like, would I rather do that or go on a kick-ass vacation with my wife and family? It's like, I don't know.
That's why for me I'm trying to knock off the low-hanging fruit. Like there's about I would say there's like 10 or 15 that are super attainable for like the average guy to go on. It's all the
Mhm.
deer, it's all the elk, like because those are tags that aren't forever,
Right.
and I think it's all the deer, all the elk, and then maybe the caribous and stuff. Like you could go do DIY and stuff. So I think there's like 15 you could do, and then you start getting into the specialty stuff, like grizzly and polar bear and all that other
Yeah.
stuff, bison, and you're like, how am I
See,
going to do that?
that would be fun.
Yeah. So it's a lifelong
Yeah.
pursuit. I think in a lot of sense, it's very unachievable, which is what makes it kind of fun to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do it, it's not going to matter. Nobody's going to care when you die, but it's cool.
Yeah. No, it is cool. And it's definitely an accomplishment. I don't know. I'm so torn on it because like, and I know this is like a moral thing too. And maybe this is where I'm kind of like turned off by it. It's like, because I am very like, if I'm set on something, then I like have to do it and complete it before I can move on to the next thing. Right. And I don't want to be so like, even during deer season. And then by January, February, I'm like drained, dude, because like I've been trying to go harder than a two-peckered billy goat for a couple months now. And like, I'm just tired. I'm ready to be home. And it's like, I actually want to see my wife for a bit. And if you go after the slam, it's like I feel like I would almost get so absorbed and wrapped up into it where it's like, this is all I can think about. This is all I need. Cause like, I'm very like start to finish type of person. And I think if it feels, I know I'm going around and around. It feels morally wrong to be that dead set on one specific thing that isn't like biblical or Christ-like. Does that make sense?
Yeah, if it becomes, yeah, it would be very easy to kind of idolize it
Mm-hmm.
because it's such a big. It would be the equivalent of eating like a freezer, like a deep freeze full of ice cream, but you're like, you got to eat all this, and you're like, I can't, so I have to sit here and eat this until it's all gone. Like it's almost unachievable. So it does take a ton of devotion and effort and energy. But I'm like, going for the slam in like a slow paced, methodical way of like, I'm setting the trips up. I hope I knock them off. If not, I can't control it. But
Yeah.
I'm setting the ones up that I want to knock off, and I'm going to try. If I can
Because
knock off 2 a year, that'd be awesome.
also you have this pursuit, and let's say you draw that once in a lifetime tag, but it gets down to the final moments, you whiff your shot or whatever. Because I
Yeah.
know you're going to be trying to do it with the bow, and it's like, what does that do to you in your psyche? And it's like, I just now spent $50,000 on this Rocky Mountain sheep or whatever type of sheep tag. I know the sheep tags are the highest, and it's like, I did all this. I'm on day 16 of this, and it all came down to this moment, and I just now blew it. I would want to
Oh yeah, yeah.
taste the barrel.
That's
in that
a problem.
situation.
That's a problem for 60-year-old me because I know that's not going to be a problem anytime soon.
Yeah.
So hopefully at that point in life, I won't be I'll be like, it's fine. That's enough on the slam. But yes, Zach, he's gonna complete the slam by proxy, just by getting
Yeah,
dragged
trip
along
and
with
fall.
me. Yeah.
I mean,
You're gonna wake up and be like, "Oh, I'm a number 11. Might as well keep going."
I am on pace to knock off a few. That is true.
Yeah, yeah, I'm telling you.
Especially if
Thomas
this
Byrne,
Canada thing works out.
dude, if we can secure our friends up north of the border, the slam's gonna be a lot more attainable. Thomas Byrne 48 said, "Do either of you know anybody that's killed a mule deer in Panhandle of Oklahoma?" I do not, and from my understanding, Thomas, the mule deer population is not that great, from what I understand.
I don't know if it's on the last live or if I just heard this from a different podcast, but it might have been on our DMs. Someone was talking about how the ODWC really kind of drops the ball when it comes to mule deer in Oklahoma. Like it could actually be a pretty good little, I don't want to say cornerstone for like the wildlife department, but it could be an attraction for other people to come to Oklahoma to hunt mule deer if we just gave it a little bit more TLC. You know what I mean?
I don't know anything about mule deer. I know that there was I think it was Giannis Patelis was hunting mule deer in the Panhandle of Oklahoma. Wasn't seeing a bunch of numbers in one of the meat eater videos, and they were talking about the research that they're doing with mule deer. And I think if I'm not mistaken, that whitetail outcompete them for resources, don't they? Pretty hard.
They're more aggressive. So I don't know about resources, but I would just think so because I did a little short on whitetail versus mule deer hybrids.
Yeah.
And one of the things I learned was in those like mating sequences, like whether it's like a whitetail buck and a mule deer buck trying to breed the same doe, whether that be whitetail or mule deer, the whitetail tends to be more aggressive and more territorial.
Mm,
So I would assume so.
okay. Yeah, I don't know enough about it, but I know there's not an abundance of mule deer because if I see one killed, I'm like, wow, that's super special. Like I don't. And then I think it was I forget his name. I can see his face. He did the Oklahoma Slam in 1 year. He did the black bear, the antelope, the mule deer, and the whitetail in 1 year. I forget his name. He films. Um, but I remember seeing that and being like, that is really special. Because I've never even seen. I don't even know if I've ever seen an Oklahoma mule deer
Hmm.
driving through the Panhandle. And we drove through the Panhandle
Yeah, we
many a
have.
time. Have we?
On the way to Boise, there's like two mule deer doe by like this little abandoned outhouse looking thing right
Oh,
before we pulled into that fella's driveway.
oh, I do remember that on the left side of the road.
Yep,
Yeah,
left side of the
I do.
road. That's sure enough.
I do. Yeah, I would
And
love to though.
and then
That'd be
he
a
took
dream.
us around the second time we went up there, remember? And to that little park place, and
Oh yeah,
he
we did see some there.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be a dream to shoot a big Oklahoma muley. Chris Hammond said, "I'm in Stillwater and you guys are deaf missing out." Um,
Oh, yeah.
he said some big ones. Thomas said some big ones in Stillwater or big ones over there, and Chris said always in Stillwater. Uh, Chris, it makes me happy knowing someone from Norman is having to spend time in Stillwater.
Well, he's probably at the CCR concert.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he is. Um, okay, so WT, I'm not reading all that. 12 said, "Can you can go what? You can
Not reading
go
all
over
that.
the counter Colorado with the rest of them." Yeah, exactly. That's what we're doing. Sounds like you want to go to New Zealand. I do, man. I would love to do the Africa thing. I'd love to go to New Zealand. I know some one dude, shoot, the guy that I have his phone number, we text a decent amount, was just in Argentina, I believe, or no, Chile, and killed a big stag. And I would love to do stuff like that, but there's just so much stuff on this continent to shoot that doesn't require international travel besides Canada. So I'm like, I'm not Africa and that stuff doesn't like, I'm not like, oh my gosh, a wildebeest. That doesn't really get me going
That would
right
be
now.
cool though.
It would be super cool, but it's not something that like
Yeah.
I don't think about it or dream about it.
I
That's
think
just me.
I don't know. Like I have a family member who's been to Africa and like he's been to a couple different places and like he goes with his wife and his wife's killed like a warthog and a zebra and he's over there and he's killed I don't even know the names of them, but he says he highly recommends it because it's like a vacation, but you get to kill stuff. And I'm like, that sounds like me.
Yeah, put your wife up in a hut. Oh, there goes Jake's camera. Yeah,
Are you
Bucko
kidding me?
450,
That sucks.
Argentina. That was me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we were texting about that. That was super cool. VL Bradley said, "So you're going to be able to hunt when you're 80?" No, probably. I hope so. At least for whitetail. I hope so. At least for whitetail. That'd be awesome. Oh, here we go. Here's a great comment to end it on. Please send money to Africa to help starvation. Please help out, guys.
Nice.
I don't. My Cash App ain't working, my boy. Sorry. Yeah. Well, in other news, maybe we'll be able to do a lot more in-person podcasts here soon. Starting on
Yeah.
the 19th.
So when are 19th? Okay. Well, my camera, I believe. Nope, it's still good. So you're going to be officially moved up on the 19th, and
That's right. Yep.
okay, okay. How's the studio looking?
We'll see.
We'll
Only
see.
time will tell.
Okay.
Only time will tell. We're gonna have to do this before we pay for a studio. Please put money on CJ's books, dude.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Your picture is just a mountain, but it sounds like you're CJ's biggest fan. Just kidding.
I love it. I don't care. I mean, what's your take on all this stuff? Like, what do you think the mindset is within these people that are like, hey, I'm gonna try to pull one over on the internet. It's like, good luck.
I don't think there is a mindset. I think it's legitimately just stupidity. You you had a high fence deer that's been dead for 2 years, and you just thought, "Dude, I can pull this off. I gotta go get a picture of me sitting on the mount with the ears pinned back," and people are definitely gonna think this is legit. Like, that just has to be a certain level of arrogance where you just think you're either smarter or you think everyone else is just dumb, you know?
Mm,
Like, and in the case of the CJ thing, um, I guess if you just say it confidently enough, people will believe you. Like, with the CJ thing, I was like, "Well, shoot, maybe it's legit. I don't know."
maybe.
You know? But that one, I was 49 points. Dude, come on. 300
Yeah.
inches. Come on.
Yeah.
So,
So, I guess besides whitetail news, are you going to be doing anything else? Like, obviously, you said you're kind of done shed hunting. You going to be doing any fishing, or you just
well,
kind of
Peyton took
waiting?
me Peyton took me spoonbill fishing the other day.
Yeah.
Um, didn't catch a spoonbill. Got a flathead though. Dude, I don't know. I'm just trying to get moved. I'm just trying to get moved and not worry about anything else until then, because then I can do whatever I want once I get settled in. I build mama's house back out, and she
Mm,
has a nice place, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, I'm assuming we'll do some of the shot in the 3D, or shoot maybe attack and start shooting bows again, and maybe go shoot some pigs. We'll see. There's plenty of fun stuff to do. So
I
we'll
like it.
see.
I like it. Also, just to kind of throw this out there, so whether you're listening to this after the fact, on Apple
Or
or
Spotify.
Spotify, or if you listen to us on YouTube, what do you guys want out of the next guest? Because obviously, if you're anything like us, it's like, yeah, you love whitetail hunting, but if you look at the numbers, not a lot of people are interested or as diehard as possibly you or I or the people listening right now, where it's like deer's not all they think about. So, if you want to take a little hiatus from all the whitetail stuff, what do you want out of guests? Do you still want those summer tips and tactics? Or do you want like weird different stories? Do you want to step away from it completely, at least just for a little bit until we get into like the summer prep and all that good stuff? Or I just want to know, because like here lately, I've been really deep diving into like the Steve Ranella mentality of it, where it's like you're learning more about like the historical things
Mm,
of like either the great or the national parks, of like how they were founded, and like maybe like the bison and how they got eradicated and then how they're starting to come back. Like, I'm really getting into that type of stuff, and I
yeah,
wouldn't mind speaking to other people about that stuff too. But
kind of more broader based stuff.
exactly, and I don't know if I'm just getting into like a midlife crisis and as I'm 28, or whatever the case is, but I find that type of stuff like really intriguing. Like the other day when I listened to that JRE episode that he was on, and he started getting into that like the beaver trapping and all that stuff, how that was currently one of the richest men on like in the world, just because he was a very well-known beaver trapper. It's like that type of stuff. I was like, huh, like that's a part of American history that I don't think a lot of people even know. And I would like to know more things like that.
Well, to me, candidly, the tips and tactics stuff, dude, it just gets old.
Hmm.
Like, it just gets, let me show you how to hang your camera. You're actually, instead of hanging at 4 foot off the ground, you're supposed to hang at 4.5 with a 12-degree angle.
Yeah.
And with your
Yeah.
IR infrared flash, I'm like, dude, stop. It hurts.
Yeah.
Like, it hurts my brain.
Nor do I care, honestly. It's like
Dude,
cool, because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to find my own deer in my own specific area of the country that you probably know nothing about. And you know how I know you don't know anything about it is because I've been hunting it for almost a decade now, and I feel like I barely scratch the surface whenever I step into those woods. And it's like
I
every
know.
single year, especially on public, it's like you can have a great spot on public, but I don't know if this is just a common theme, but I feel like most people would agree. It changes year by year, whether that be uh, from human pressure. Okay, well, I shot a big deer in there last year. I got a buddy who knows where I hunted in there, or I got, probably someone from my town that also hunts there that sees a truck. They move into that area, or it could be the biologist or whatever does a little bit of altering on the landscape, whether that be burn or maybe they haven't burned in a long time, things just change there in those kind of more wilderness environments. And it's like, just because you have a honey hole one year, it might work the next maybe year, even two, but sooner or later you're going to have to switch it up. And it's like each year, it's almost like you're stepping into something new. And it's like, don't tell me what I need to do. There are some things that are set in stone where it's like,
transferable.
we had, my camera's about to die again, but we had what's his face? I'll just use this one. It's fine. Luster on, and he was talking about how bucks use wind differently. So, an example was, it's like, okay, you set up on this bedding area. When do you set up on it? Well, obviously when the wind's smacking me right in the face, and he's like, why would a big mature buck walk this certain way when everything's not in his advantage? Like, why would he just blindly walk this way when he has no way of seeing or smelling if there's danger there? I'm like, good point. Because it's like, usually you just make sure the wind's right for you. And if the temperatures are good for you, it's like, yeah, why not hunt that? And I think you still should, but maybe just not in that spot. And it kind of makes you think a little. Those type of things are very transferable. When it comes to the tips and tactics and, your trail camera strategies, it's like, go kick rocks, anywhere. Go play in the street. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. What I've noticed too is everybody has different things that work for them across the country. And I'm not going to try to speak for someone that lives 2,000 miles away that, like, what Bo Martonic is using in Pennsylvania is not what's going to work in Iowa, which is not going to work. What's going to work in South Texas. So it's like, I want to stay away from that stuff. And it's like, tell more stories about individual hunts instead of like, let me tell you how to be a better deer hunter. If you have the internet, you could probably figure out how to be a pretty good deer hunter with like 5 good principles,
Chat GPT it.
Yeah. Well, Cover 2 Outdoors said got up about 75 shots yesterday. You boys can come hunt public hogs here in Texas. Yeah, dude, that sounds actually fun. I would be interested in that. I think he lives in North Texas. Bucko 450 said it's almost turkey season here. Like turkey talk this time of the year. Gonna be honest, it's probably not gonna be coming from us because we do not get to turkey hunt, nor do we have places to go. Wayne Saunders was pretty good, different from most podcasts. We could have listened to it for hours. That's good feedback. Cool. Yeah, we enjoyed that one. Wayne's a beast. But
he's a good guy too.
Yeah. Well, I think that wraps that bad boy up. It's 10 o'clock. So
yeah. Also,
let all these people off the hook.
If you guys have individual names of these certain topics, I don't care if it's bear attack, whatever. Like, this dude got lost in the wilderness for 15 days. Drop individual names. That would help out. Also, certain topics. It's like, more on that historical route. It's like, okay, well, this guy knows a lot about the beaver trade, or this guy knows about this Panama Canal, how it, whatever, Louisiana Purchase. I don't give a dang. It's like, just try to be more specific. If it's like, I want to hear about this, I feel like this guy would be a good guess. Drop that down. And it's like, that would help out tremendously on trying to get people booked.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's going to be a lot easier to do the podcast here very soon. So hopefully we can transfer that onto you guys. But, well, I appreciate you guys for joining the live, and we'll catch you again hopefully soon.
Jesus loves you.
Bye.